Side note, have you both been following this whole Alabama
Yep.
abortion?
We're getting very deep in this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on.
Okay, well now's...
there, but
I'll be honest with you, Liam. It's bad, and now's probably not the time to have a deep discussion about it.
Well, no, I just think if we had the choice to keep it or not, I think we definitely would, because now it's time for housekeeping.
I feel like you might have to apologise for that, Liam. I think you might have to apologise to the listeners, because that was bad, and I don't like it.
Sorry, listeners. So we had an email come in. I wish the listeners could see Ellie's face right now.
Yeah.
It's not a happy face, is it?
It's not very happy.
We had an email. Case number 01140125539. We've received a DMCA notice regarding your account. Basically, Ellie was naughty on Twitter a while ago, and now we've been caught out for it.
What did you do?
Nothing!
Well, Ellie uploaded a video of her. She was supposed to be cleaning her room, I believe. But yeah, so the tweet that accompanied
You're dragging
the
it
video
out,
uploaded
and it's making it seem worse.
Yeah, no, the tweet that accompanied it was, so I'm cleaning my room, ... which may be degenerated into an impromptu solo dance session. And then it was a video of Ellie dancing to Fifth Harmony, Work From Home.
As you do.
Which, yeah, good song. I get why you dance to it. Twitter, not happy with that.
Oh.
Copyright.
Oh.
So, the tweet is still there, but the video has a little warning on it that says this media has been disabled in response to a report by the copyright owner.
I like the idea that someone tracked down that video after how many years?
I can tell you, actually. Hang on. So this tweet went up. Can I tell you? 2016, 28th of July,
So
2016.
3 years ago.
Wow.
It's taken them 3 years to find
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you hashtag Fifth Harmony or Work From Home. So they must have really trawled the internet to find that. I imagine there's got to be some way where they can scan videos that match sound frequencies or something, right?
They have bots that do it.
Yeah. Now, I initially, when this email came in, thought it was a scam, because there is a thing on it that's if you believe the material has been removed as a result of mistake or misidentification, you may submit a counter notification of your objection, and it's going to cost us $17.
Let's take it. Let's do it, Liam.
But
let's fight this.
No, because we definitely are in the wrong here.
I was doing it in review. If I remember rightly, at the end, I said, this is a good song.
No, if I remember rightly, you don't talk at all in the whole video.
Fair use.
Yeah, this is fair use.
So, yeah. So we had that email from Graham Grant, the director of Anti-Piracy.
That's sad, because, maybe you can directly send me the video, because it makes me sad that I've only just discovered the existence of this.
I don't know if that video
and
existed
it's been taken down.
Yeah, you've probably got a new phone since then or something, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be on your phone
I
anymore.
think that video might be gone forever, and it's all thanks to whoever manages Fifth Harmony.
Sony Music, I think it was.
So, listeners, email Sony Music, demand that they rescind their copyright.
Sony Music
Maybe you could
Entertainment.
crowdfund the $17 you need to
well,
appeal.
the problem is, we'd appeal, but then they'd go, no, we've reviewed the video, you don't comment on it at all.
Yeah.
You have no leg to stand on here, thanks for $17.
Fine.
Okay, we had some tweets as well from the last episode. Frankie tweeted us saying, so happy to hear Ellie is reading books again. I hope that, but for how long, is just Liam added some drama and not a sign that the reading didn't go well, because I did a little tweet that was oh, Ellie's reading, but for how long, to reel in the listeners and get them listening.
Clickbait.
Marketing, innit? Yeah, exactly. How's the reading going, Ellie?
I am considering reading Game of Thrones, so I don't know.
Do it, it's good.
I want to do it, but I also want to wait until it's actually finished.
Yeah, I guess that's the other thing, is I'm I will catch up and then be I've got to wait for the last 2 books.
There's loads of it. You'll be fine.
Ellie reads very fast when she gets into a book, though.
God, I don't. I'm such a slow reader.
Same.
That's why we read point horrors.
Yeah, that's our sort of speed. I can whiz through a point horror.
That's my level.
Actual book.
I particularly like it when they try and pad it out by just making the font bigger. I'm into that.
Yeah. Frankie also tweeted saying, okay, Andrew Scott as a priest has Fleabag going on my watch list with high priority, And while I love him best as Moriarty, I knew him first from My Life in Film, a series I highly recommend, which we should probably add to our list of recommendations because I looked it up and it does sound interesting. Amanda tweeted us saying, I was getting like really whiny on Twitter because I didn't want to do 50 Shades Darker. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? And Amanda tweeted saying, the reason why we were doing it was because a couple of years ago we said we'd do more for Mother's Day, but like we've said we'd do stuff loads of times on the podcast that we then haven't done, so I don't know why we're doing that. Frankie said, what a way to end the episode. How dare you lump in Fantasia with the likes of 50 Shades? Sure, it's not a film I watch when I'm in the mood for a film. It's one I watch when I'm in the mood for classical music, but it's still a film and a damn good one.
Nah.
Strong disagree.
No, strong disagree.
I'm pleased we're on the same page with this. Because...
I do not understand it at all, the love for it. I like Mickey as the little wizard. That's good. I went to Walt Disney World in Florida with my mum when I was a teenager and bought a very nice Mickey wizard like plushie back. Big fan. I like the little dancing mushrooms. But these are the sorts of things that, you know, when it's nice is when you're watching like Channel 4 around Christmas time and they do like the 50 best animated films of all time, which, first off, Fantasia shouldn't be fucking in it, but it always is. And they show you the little clips and you go, oh, look, there's Mickey as a wizard. Oh, look, there's the little dancing mushrooms. Oh, look, there's the big hippos in the like little ballet tutus. Aren't they cute?
Yeah.
Nobody needs to sit down for like 3.5 hours or however, like, I don't know how long it actually is, but it feels like about 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I remember having it on VHS as a kid. And it would never be my like go-to. Like if I was ever like, oh, I don't really remember this, let's watch it. It would just instant regret.
Yeah, I just don't understand who it's for.
No, it's not for me. And then Frank said that she laughed because she upgraded her Fantasia to Blu-ray at the same time she bought some Zac Efron films. So I obviously liked that tweet, which meant I liked to tweet about Fantasia. Whatever, Zac Efron was in it. Zac Efron beats Fantasia. If they've remade Fantasia and cast Zac Efron in all the roles, I might like it.
In all of the roles.
It's the only way I'm going to like it. Okay. We had a question from Kat, which I think we maybe sort of covered earlier, but we'll do it again. What is Becky's favourite and least favourite point horror book?
So favourite, I would say Halloween Night.
Yeah.
And least favourite, yeah, I'd say The Babysitter, which is sad, really, because it was our first episode on our podcast, and both Jill and I felt very lukewarm about The Babysitter. It's just very repetitive.
It's awful.
It's really just, I don't know, some, like, R.L. Stine definitely gets better. Like, some of the writing in it is very shoddy.
I've read 2 R.L. Stine books now, and okay.
Doesn't get better.
I mean, the thing with R.L. Stine and point horror that I've noticed is I enjoy the act of reading them. Like, I'll read the book really quickly, but when it's done, I'll be like, oh, that was really not great. Like,
the
Babysitter
stuff
was worse.
In The Babysitter about her sort of confusing a rock with a dog and some leaves as dancing squirrels and nonsense.
It was just her. There was a bit where she was imagining like scenarios that I was reading. It was like, if this book was about that, this book would be better, and that's annoying me. Like, there's a bit where she hears a knock on the door and she's like, oh, maybe it's the police, and there's been like a toxic nuclear waste spill outside,
right,
and everyone's mutants. And I'm like, yeah, let's read that book.
Maybe that's where Point Horror Mutants comes from.
It's possible.
It's a spin-off that everyone wanted.
You just find out at the end.
I'll send you some links to those books later so you can see. Yeah.
It's all in her head. Yeah.
There's 3 more Babysitter books as well, is the other thing.
Yeah, I haven't... are they new babysitters, or is it all Jenny?
It's all Jenny.
Do you know that for sure, Liam?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
because I read the back of the Babysitter 4 and it was still banging on
about
about
Jenny.
Jenny.
That doesn't mean they're all about Jenny.
Just
no!
check. Well then.
We'll find out in a couple of years' time when Jill and I cover them on the podcast, or when Liam reads them to you, Ellie.
Ellie can't wait. But yeah, no, I'm with you on the Babysitter being.
Yeah, that's definitely my least favourite so far.
Okay. Yeah, understandable. Amanda tweeted us saying that she's looking forward to more fantasy book reviews and recommendations from Ellie. Also, she hopes that Liam, will get back to reading all the Stephen King books in order. 'Cause I started that with Carrie, and then the next book was... Oh, fuck, I forgot the name again. I did it last time. It's got a cat on the front, but it's not Pet Sematary.
Salem's Lot.
That's the one. And it's a big old book. Although, after watching Game of Thrones...
Sorry, just before you move on from that.
Yeah.
So your effort to read every Stephen King book in order was you reading Carrie?
Yeah.
So would you maybe more accurately describe that as you read Carrie?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah. And then I brought Salem's Lot with the intention of doing that, and it did not happen because it's a big book, and I wasn't expecting it to be that book. And I wasn't expecting it to be that big, and I'd only just started getting back into reading, and going from like Carrie, which was like a 200-page book, to this book, which was like 600 or 700 pages, I was like, too much, too big, too much.
So instead, you've gone from Carrie to Goosebumps. Okay.
Yes.
So you're going in the opposite direction.
Went in the opposite direction. Yeah, and then I read like 6 Goosebumps books and was like fucking loving reading again.
Yeah, but I bet that 6 Goosebumps books is basically the same length as reading Salem's Lot.
Yeah, but I bet it's...
I don't even know. It might be more Goosebumps books than that to get to Salem's
Really?
Lot.
Oh, okay.
And even then, yeah.
All right.
Well, bear in mind,
it's the language.
I did 6 Goosebumps and 6 Point Horror, but yeah, they're not as big reads, are they? Like, I don't have to think as much with them.
No.
But after watching Game of Thrones, I was like, I want to get into like a fantasy type world like this, but in book form. So I bought a couple of like fantasy, like adult, not like adult as in like naughty, but adult as in like for grown-ups type books. And I'm reading one at the moment which Ellie hasn't read before, which is surprising because Ellie reads a lot of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, but you deliberately you asked me for the list that I'd been working through because I was doing a list, and then you deliberately bought one that was different.
But then I was like, I don't want to. No, I brought 2 off of that list, and then I went, no, but I want something to read tonight. And there was one that you could get in like a big sort of collection with like 2 other books in the series. It was like then a 1,000-page book, and I don't like holding books that big. It annoys me. So I got the first part of that book that was just 300 and something pages on Kindle.
I just like the way you talk sometimes, Liam. You just say shit, and it's just ridiculous.
I don't like holding books that big. It annoys me.
The idea of you picking up an 1,000-page book and going, I can't deal with this.
It's too heavy.
I mean, I would have understood it if you'd said something like, it intimidates me, or like something like that, but for the emotion to be annoyance is just hilarious.
It's because, when you've got a book that big, and especially when it's like 3 books in one, it's a bit too much faff. Because then, I've read the first book, but it doesn't feel like I've completed the book, because I've still got 2/3 of essentially the same book to go, but it's actually 3 books, and it's too much for me.
Okay.
I don't like it. And holding it and turning the pages of a book that big, I like to read in the bath, but
I've forgotten that was a thing.
That because I don't want to drop the book in the bath. I have to sit with my arms on the edge of the bath, leaning over it with the book outside. So if I drop it and it falls on the floor, then it's not going to get wet. But then imagine doing that with a book that's 1,000 pages long.
Imagine being so weird as a person that the only time you
that
can
is
read,
weird.
You're like, I need to read another couple of chapters of this book. I'll go run a bath and then just dangle over the edge and then you have the audacity to say that picking up an 1,000-page book annoys you. Fuck you! You have a ritual with every book.
Yeah, but to be fair, so I was reading in the bath the other day on my phone, and it was so good because I could get right in the water and was like, I don't care if I drop this, my phone won't get too damaged.
Wait, do you have a waterproof phone?
Because it would mostly, I don't know, but it's land on my chest, so it'd only go a little bit in the water.
I hate.
So we had another tweet.
Fuck me, Liam. Jesus Christ.
Amanda. I'm just going to move on because both Becky and Ellie's reactions is I've said something wrong.
Than a book.
I'm pretty sure phones can get a little bit wet. My phone's been in the
rain before. So can books, Liam!
But they get all wrinkly and weird, right?
And phones, when you get them a little bit wet, Liam, they slowly develop weird watermarks under the screen.
My phone's been in the rain before, and it's been.
That's
alright.
not the same as dropping it on your chest in a wet bath.
Well, I didn't drop it anyway, so it's all good.
Hate you.
But right, imagine lying back in a bath with a 1,000-page book. Oh,
I don't read in the bath.
Arms in. Yeah, well, I do. So anyway, Amanda tweeted us saying that she went ahead and stayed paused on the last episode, and she's going to add One Cut of the Dead to her list alongside Barefoot Gen of things to watch with us next time she makes it to England. That's going to be a weird day, going from Barefoot Gen to
Oh god,
One
yeah,
Cut
no,
of
I
the
don't want
Dead.
to do that.
Becky, have you seen One Cut of the Dead?
Yes, I have.
What did you think?
Fucking loved it.
Excellent. Have you seen Barefoot Gen?
No.
So you know how you were saying you don't like happy, cheery things?
Yeah.
This is the film
Yeah,
for
this
you.
is the polar opposite of that.
Yeah. How do you feel about anime?
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah? How do you feel about watching an anime about Hiroshima?
Oh.
Yeah, it's
That's the sort of tone we're
it's
looking
the
at with this
saddest
film.
thing we've done in this podcast.
Now you've said that, I know what Barefoot Gen is.
It's really good.
Is it?
It's good. It's also just.
I went when I was in, I think Tokyo, potentially Kyoto. In fact, I think it might have been at the Kyoto Manga Museum. They had a temporary exhibition about the writer of Barefoot Gen,
Oh.
and they had loads of the original mangas in cases and
That's
history
awesome.
and stuff. Yeah, when you said it, I was thinking of something else, but actually I do know what that is. And I remember at the time thinking, this looks dark.
It is. But
Yeah.
it's also my favourite anime film of all time, so
Oh, wow.
recommend it.
All right. Well, that is quite a recommendation. I will definitely add it to the list.
It's not a huge recommendation. I've watched all of 4 or 5 anime films. I'm not
And he
well
hates
versed
all
in
of
it.
them except Barefoot Gen.
I don't hate all of them. I just struggle with most of them.
What are the other ones that you've watched?
I've seen Akira.
Right. And you didn't like Akira?
I didn't get it.
I mean, you do have to watch it a couple of times to...
I need to see it again,
To
I
be
think.
honest, I've probably seen it half a dozen times and I still don't technically get it.
Yeah. I've seen, is it called Perfect Blue? Mm-hmm. Which I think Darren Aronofsky is basically like, oh, I like this. Let's steal all these ideas for my films.
Yep.
What was the one you read? Princess Mononoke?
Mononoke.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm pretty sure I've seen Howl's Moving Castle
Your
before.
Name?
Okay.
Or Spirited Away, one of those two. Oh yeah, Your Name I've seen. That's alright. I think that's pretty much it, I think.
All right, well, that's a decent spread for Barefoot Gen to be...
Oh, and Grave of
Your
the
favourite?
Fireflies.
Wow, you like the bleak ones, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, we tried to cover
Don't
it.
say
on
don't
Previous
say
Culture
we
Shock.
tried to cover it. I covered it totally fine. You tried to cover it because you're a dick who hates
Yeah,
good
this was
anime.
back in the day when we were doing TV shows on Culture Swap. We had a rule of 6 episodes or something. So I did however many episodes we had to do for that, and I was like, am I going to watch more? And the answer to that was no. And also Attack on Titan, I've tried twice now and can't get through that.
Is that the one with the great big guys with the naked
Yeah.
guys who bash through the walls? Yeah, that is. I mean, it's a slog. I still haven't finished it. I like it, but that is something that I'll watch one episode and then at the end of it feel like I need a shower and a cuddle. That is some. It's
There
quite
was
full
an
on.
anime that I tried to watch as a teenager, right? And every time I talk to people about it, they've never heard of it.
Is this,
so let's give
is
this
this
a go.
that one?
Have you?
The one that you always tell me you've watched?
Is it the tentacle rape one, Liam?
No, it's called Rumbling Hearts.
Well, that was the tentacle rape one is the one that we always used to talk about when we were at school. So
No, that's
I don't
fair,
know.
yeah, that's-
Yeah, no. So, Rumbling Hearts was essentially a coming of age anime where it was all very serious. There was no tentacles, none of that in it. The description on IMDb is just follows complicated love life of. I can't do that.
I don't know why you tried to read this because you know you can't do the names.
Takayuki Inarumi.
Yeah,
Pretty good. Sounded
There we
alright.
go.
It
A
did
male
also
high
sound a
school
little bit
student.
like you were taking the piss because it sounded like the second bit was in a roomie,
Taco me in a room.
Narumi.
Liam, Ellie, and Becky in a roomie.
But yeah, just a male high school student. That's literally it. And so all I remember is the first episode ends with a car crash, and then the next episode picks up several months later. But it's all just about these high school kids and their love lives and stuff.
I love that
Never heard of it.
No one's
Liam's
ever
good
heard of
anime
it.
list is 2 very depressing animes and then Rumbling Hearts, which sounds very much like the sort of stereotypical romance anime.
I'm not saying this is good.
And
I'm
also,
just
he's
saying
managed
this
to
is something
pick
I've seen.
one that neither of us who really like anime have heard of. How have you managed this?
Genuinely, honestly, I picked this up when I was like 16.
Such a
I would
hipster.
love to know
A
how
while ago.
16-year-old Liam found this anime.
I think I just saw it on like play.com or something.
Wild.
Jesus,
the
they
day.
didn't even have... The internet wasn't even invented when I was 16.
That's the point, Liam. Are you sure? Would you have been on the internet at 16, Liam?
Yeah. I was big into Neopets at 16. I shouldn't admit that. That's more of a 14-year-old.
Yeah, I was.
Isn't it?
I was like 12 when it came to Neopets, but sure, 16-year-old Liam.
I loved it, honestly.
What's Neopets? Is it a bit like... Is it like Gigapets? Is it like Tamagotchis?
Sort of. It was like an online website, and you had a Neopet, and then you played mini games to get money and eggs, and then you
You could get paintbrushes and have it like different
Yeah,
colours,
they were worth, like-
and you could train it up and battle it, and
yeah.
it was a whole thing. It was a big
Kids
thing
were into it.
when I was a teenager.
Kids like me at 12,
kids.
Teenage Liam.
and then apparently some creepy 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Did you guys meet in a chat room? Is that how this whole thing kicked off?
Could you imagine? No, we met at uni.
Yeah.
No, I know.
My chat room days were long behind me by the time I went to uni, thankfully. Although I spent way too long as a teenager on like the Kerrang message boards.
Why? Sorry. Let's not
Anyway.
get into it.
Yeah, Amanda tweeted us saying, in the last episode, I was like, oh, why are we doing a sequel? We never do sequels. This is bullshit. And then Amanda tweeted us saying, Liam, every Christmas you have Ellie watch a sequel for Culture Swap.
So, yep.
So, yeah. And I watched multiple Santa Claus movies as well, which I don't know why that keeps coming up, all right? The very first Christmas special, Ellie gave me the first Santa Claus. I bought a box set of all 3, spent the night watching all 3, and then really chuffed with myself, came on to the episode and was like, I've watched all 3 Santa Claus movies, and no one has been impressed.
Because it wasn't impressive. You forced everyone, me included, and all our listeners, to listen to, I think it was like in the end like an hour and a half of you talking about the 3 Santa Claus movies.
Got really into
So
it.
when you say Santa Claus, you mean the Tim Allen ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
all 3 of those.
Okay.
Amanda also tweeted us saying, the extreme 180 degree of emotions I just experienced from laughing at Liam being the worst mum to shock at the Fantasia
Yeah.
hate.
Already covered that.
Deal with it. And then so we were saying last episode we don't know why like 50 Shades got big, and Amanda has come in with reasons because she worked at a bookstore when 50 Shades hit big, and apparently E.L. James started out writing online. People were asking for the books constantly, and for a while you could only do special orders where they essentially were printed to order because everything was online. And then from Amanda's understanding, initially they were online for free under fan fiction sites. Then E.L. James pulled everything back behind a paywall and eventually got a traditional publisher. The phenomenon around it still boggles her, but that Mother's Day lead up, they sold thousands of them.
Fair enough.
Also, 50 Shades Freed is a truly hilariously bad movie. It's better than the other 2 because of its unintentional humour. So,
Fair enough. Are you done, Liam?
I think no.
Be done. Liam.
Oh yeah. No, we've got a question for Becky, but that's for later.
yes.
So don't worry, I'm done for
Okay.
now. Done for now. 2090. Moving on.
Well, I need to. We haven't got the recording from last time.
Oh.
Becky, that's how many DVDs
Right.
Liam has left to watch in a pile of DVDs that he owns but has not watched. Some of them he has seen before in the past but didn't own. It's very confusing.
No, I didn't log it on Letterboxd. It's everything I've watched since starting Letterboxd in 2013.
So that's 1,090 DVDs in a pile that Liam is currently working through and has been working through for 3 years now, and the number has barely decreased.
It's going down this year though because I've stopped buying so many, haven't I? I've been
don't
buying
know
all these
much.
bloody books.
That's a lot. I can now see why you slightly raised your eyebrows when I said I had a watch list of 600
Yeah, because
earlier.
Liam's sitting there going, nothing.
Nothing. Jesus.
Yeah, I wish I
all right,
had a
so
watch list.
bearing in mind your need for order and a linear approach to these matters, how are you watching these films?
Mostly, like, it depends what I'm in the mood for, right? But like, there'll be certain directors where I'll be doing their work in order. So I'm currently working through Russ Meyer because I have one of his box sets, and
Faster
probably about
Pussycat
halfway
Kill
through.
Kill.
Yeah, very good film.
Vixen, my personal favourite.
was literally just about to say, I haven't seen his biggest film, which is Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen that yet. It's my next one to watch, but I need to watch Valley of the Dolls first, which wasn't directed by him. But again, I have to do things in order. I don't even know if they're related, to be honest. But Criterion released them both together, so fuck it, I'll do it together. But yeah, Vixen is so far my favourite of his. Although Lorna is also really good.
I haven't seen that.
It's worth a watch. But yeah, so certain directors I'll be doing in order. Otherwise, if I have a film series, it'll be in order. So I've recently done the first 3 Transporter movies with Jason Statham, which are terribly average, to be honest. But yeah, I just haven't been watching a lot lately, but I also haven't been buying, so it's not going up at least.
Okay, well that's something.
I've got next week off work, and my plan is to try and get this list down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's your aim? How many do you want to watch in that week?
Well, I've got all these Nintendo Switch games to play now that I bought as well, and I've got books to read. So we'll see what happens. It'll go down.
The worst part is that Liam set himself a goal this year.
Oh, all right.
So overconfident. He has failed every goal that I've set. So my whole attitude is I'm genuinely trying to help him not buy more DVDs because he doesn't need them. And to do that, I'm like, we'll set a goal. If you get below it, you get a reward. If you get above it, you get punished. And maybe some part of his brain, the ordered part, will be like, I very much want the ordered reward and not the chaotic punishment that Ellie will give me. But no, it's never happened. So then,
the punishment is
awful. You, Liam, were the one that said this year, I'm going to get below 1,000, and you are not on track.
Yeah. So just to give listeners and Becky context, last year I think I started the year at 1,093. Did I?
I haven't got the list up because my computer's not connected. But
something like that, right? Something like that. And the goal was just to get below the number that I started the year on, which was 1,093. And I epically failed that. I think I ended up over 1,000.
Yeah, you were definitely over 1,100. Yeah.
I think it was 1,019 when I started this year. So I'm now down to 1,090 again. But the problem is, right, I go through phases with these things. So when I started this year off, right, I had a week where I watched 8 films. Now that's where I was like, I can probably get to below 1,000 because that's what at that rate, that's about 12 weeks of watching. Problem is that only lasted about a week. And now, I've had a week. I've had 2 weeks this year. I've watched no films, and on average, I'm averaging 2.8 per week.
God, my stomach's rumbling. Sorry, just little tangent there, just in case you're interested. I can't believe you've gone. Yeah, I mean, you need to commit. You can't be going for weeks without watching anything if you've got that sort of number.
Yeah, but I've got other things to do.
It's ridiculous, Liam.
It's
ridiculous.